record. Welcome to, bless you. Welcome to our October 13th team call for the Aero Tribe. I'm so glad you guys are here. I'm so excited that Morgan is here. Just a quick little housekeeping thing before we go into the team call. I just want to remind everybody that we have a little team-wide incentive going on that if you qualify for Success Club 5 or higher by the 15th, so Saturday, you're going to be invited to a private mastermind Zoom with me on Sunday evening. So if that's something you want to do, if you want to have that kind of private time to just chat about your business and goal setting and all that kind of stuff, then push and get it locked in by Saturday so that you can get an invite to that. That's something that'll be kind of fun, quality time for us to hang out. All right, so I'm so excited that Morgan agreed to speak, even though it's crazy town right now getting ready for leadership. But she is one of my success partners. Morgan and I signed up to be coaches almost exactly the same time. I think she maybe signed up like a week before me. And we met because Lindsay had put us in some sort of training group together. I think it was like her August new coaches. And we've just kind of been friends ever since. We met for the first time in person on the Success Club cruise that we both went on in spring of 2014. And our husbands hit it off and we hit it off, and we've just been success partners and friends ever since. But it's been really cool to watch Morgan grow her empire. She is from Saskatchewan, Canada, so she's one of the Canadian Beachbody coaches. And she just has an incredible leadership style and calmness to her and just get it done mentality. And she's going to be talking a little bit about that today. To brag on her for a minute, she is a 2-time elite coach, which means that she's been elite pretty much every year except the first year that she started. She's a top 40 coach. She's ranked even higher just among the Canadian coaches. She's a 9-star diamond, which is insane. She's been a coach for 3 years, and she's an all-star legend and an executive leader on the leadership ladder, which is just crazy. That's like pretty much the tip top. So I'm going to hand it over to Morgan, and I'm going to mute myself. If you guys need anything, just hop in the chat.
All right. I'm just going to do this so you can see. Becca, can you hear and see me okay? Yeah? Okay. Super. Oh, Vanessa and I were just Snapchatting just before this about my oil diffusers. So thank you so much for having me, you guys. This is awesome. And I think the part where Becca said, I'm calm and I just get stuff done pretty much describes me better than all the rankings, because we all know those fluctuate quite a bit, right? So calmness, being organized, getting stuff done is pretty much me. So that's kind of what I wanted to talk to you a little bit about tonight. Am I echoing a little bit? I just want to make sure you can hear me okay. Okay, that sounds a little bit better. I am technically, am I echoing, Becca, or am I okay?
You have like a teensy echo, but it's not anything dramatic, at least not to me.
Okay. Okay. Okay, so technically, yes, I am a full-time coach, but not really. Stephen and I also own a double franchise, so I do have a full-time job as well. Okay, it's driving me nuts. I just want to make sure everybody's muted because it's driving me crazy. Is everybody muted?
All right, I just muted everyone, Morgan, so you'll have to unmute yourself again.
Okay, there we go. Oh, much better. Thank you. So yeah, we own a double franchise. So I'm there actually from like 9 till 5 pretty much every day. We do the scheduling, we make sandwiches, we do payroll, we do all that jazz. So I run this business while working that full time. So that's where the organization and the planning comes into play for me. And I think, honestly, it makes me a better coach. Like, a lot of coaches fear that they couldn't do this while working another full-time job. And I honestly feel that busier people do much better at this job because they don't have time for the extra fluff. Like when I worked this business, I started it, I was a full-time teacher plus helping opening the franchise plus started coaching. And that was when my business exploded, because I really only had time for the actual activities. Like I didn't have time for all that extra fluff. I didn't have a team name up until this summer. So 2.5, almost 3 years in, I was speaking at Summit and they're like, what's your team name so we can announce it? I'm like, shit, I don't have a team name. I better get one, right? So I wanted to dive into basically planning your month and showing you what I do. Like, I just want to speak from exactly what I do, how I plan my month. I see a lot of you are parents. Majority of you probably still work full time and you're like, how do I build this empire and do all this all at once? So I basically just want to dive in and show you exactly what I do. And I don't start with a daily plan. I'll chit chat about that later. I start with a monthly plan. So I'm going to actually show you my screen. For those of you that maybe are on phone, I'll kind of walk you through it. And not to worry, I'm sure Becca's recording it too. So I just copied my October calendar that I shared in my team page. And I know it might be a little small on your screen if you're watching on your phone or something, so I'll talk you through it. So basically every one of my months looks very similar. It alters slightly depending on what's going on. So for me, I break my months. So I have November pretty much planned already, December, give or take, planned too. So I break my months into 2 halves so I can stay focused. So the first half of the month, I'm really focused on inviting and sharing about challenge groups. And then the second half, I kind of switch it, and I switch it to more of a inviting to coaching, and my posts are more focused on coaching. I do it that way because, first of all, I found it really mumble jumbled for myself to be constantly posting and inviting to both all month. But I also thought it was confusing to my audience, thinking like, okay, does Morgan want coaches? Does she want challengers? Like, is she doing a challenge group? Is she doing a new coach training? I don't know what the heck she's doing. So I'm not even going to apply because I don't know. So I'm like, okay, I'm making it super clear and I'm breaking it into 2 halves. And the reason I do that is because my challenge group prep week, or like challenge group start date, whatever, is usually at the very end of the month or start of the next month. So for me, I invite for the first 2 to 3 weeks of October. So as you can see, my last day to order-ish is around the 23rd. So for the whole week of the 2nd, the whole week of the 9th, I'm inviting to challenge groups. The week of the 16th is usually, and the week of the 16th, my conversations are starting to wrap up. Then I leave a week for shipping, and then we'd start the 31st. Because Canada, not that all my challengers are Canadian, but we take a little bit longer to ship. So the first half of the month, my personal invites are coaching, but more importantly, my posts are strongly about challenge groups. Not directly, but if you've been following me for a while, you probably know when the first half of the month is and when the second half of the month is, because my live videos are usually things about fitness or about nutrition, scared to take that leap of faith, how to stay motivated, how to pick your first program, things that would relate to fitness and challenge groups. And my live videos, my posts, I'll share my workouts a lot more at the start of the month, because I believe my social media is what fuels my conversations behind the scenes, right? So I try and predict, okay, what are the people thinking that I'm talking to about a challenge group? So say I'm like trying to seal the deal with people, like they're scared to purchase the package. I'll probably get on live video the next day and maybe do a live video about the value I see in investing into health and fitness. Or things like how I felt before I got my first challenge pack and now how I feel, right? So my social media fuels the behind the scene action. So that's what the first half of the month looks like for me. And then the second half of the month, you'll see I've got like a what is coaching group on the 24th. So starting halfway through like the 16th, I'd be starting to shift my posts to be more coaching focused, probably inviting to the sneak peek. My training's mainly online. But I mean, that doesn't really matter. But so the second half of the month, I would shift it more so. So I'm still sharing like my workouts and stuff, but my posts are more geared towards what coaching's done for me, I guess. Like, what I felt before coaching. Like I'm a full-time teacher, but I felt like a little bit trapped by the traditional setting. So, this allowed me to still use my skills, but in a different way. How I started coaching while working a full-time job, because a lot of people have that fear. What else? Oh, like I'll just be super blatant about it. I'll be like, top 5 fears for signing up to be a coach. Anything like that, or sharing about the community of women or anything. Like I just shift my post to now be more about coaching, because then again, it fuels my conversations behind the scenes. So I think I just try and envision the things that people are wondering that I'm talking to and inviting, and just put it out there for everybody, right? Because if they're wondering it, lots of other people are too. So that's how I shifted at the end of the month. What else do I have in here? Okay, so yeah, challenge group, first 30 launches. So lately I've been testing out free groups as well, and I time those out strategically too. So for example, it's starting the second week here, and it'll be a week long. So that means I do the free group for a week. It's over. I have a whole week to talk to them about a challenge group before I want my last day to order. So I'm placing that free group very strategically right there, so that they have the opportunity to join a challenge group with me afterwards, right? Not everybody will, but they definitely might. And my free groups, I like to run them a little bit differently. I know a lot of people do free clean eating groups and stuff like that, and that's phenomenal. But I did a free clean eating group once, and it totally shit the bed, because Becca knows this. Food is just not my thing. Like I can eat broccoli, chicken, and rice every day, all day for the rest of my life, and I really wouldn't care. I'm just not that passionate about food. So that group didn't work for me because I just wasn't all in it. But right now I have a free group going on. It's called the 1 Week Happiness Project, because happiness, personal development, or no, not the 1 Week Happiness, love. That's my challenge group. It's called the 1 Week Confidence Club. So I'm doing it on confidence. So I'm teaching them how to download podcasts and listen to them. I made a checklist for them. I made like 5 free workouts for them to do, because we all know working out builds your confidence. We're just talking about different topics for 7 days about confidence. And that's something I'm insanely passionate about. I can get in that group and I can go live and I can pour my heart and soul out because I just love it. And that way, those people see the real me and see what I have to offer right off the start, right? So then they're more apt to want to join my challenge group. But if they don't see me passionate in that group or involved in that free group is pretty much useless, right? So I would just caution you when running free groups to make sure you do something you're passionate about. This was so funny. Becca knows it backfired on me. So I did a post the one day. I'm like, if I did like a free resource, what topic would you like for it to be about? And what does everybody want? Free clean eating group, nutrition group, meal plans. I'm like, So, but what I decided, I'm like, okay, I'll give these people what they want. So my next free group, I actually am going to do it on nutrition, but I'm putting my own spin on it. I've got a biology degree as well. So I like the science behind food, right? So I think we make it way harder on ourselves than we need to. So like, I'm going to be talking about things that like the mental, the neurological sides of things, when we eat crap, what it triggers in our brain, what microbacteria it allows to flourish in our guts, which then signal our brain to eat more because they want to survive, right? Versus the certain gut bacteria that healthy food lets grow in our gut triggers our brain to think that, right? And how to make it harder on ourselves, harder on our motivation to stick with it when we eat crappy food because it's playing with our chemicals. So that I'm going to cover nutrition in my sort of way, right? Not in the traditional meal plan nutrition sense. So putting your own vibe on it. What else okay, so first half of the group, we're doing challenge groups. Second half, we're doing coaches. And that's pretty much it for my monthly plan. I'm just going to stop sharing this and go back to myself. There we go. So and give or take, that's what pretty much every month looks like for me. I play around with it. Like for December with Christmas, I'll definitely adjust. Okay. Like you really, when there's holidays, boy, like you got to really think, because you're not going to start a challenge group, when Christmas is going on or when Thanksgiving is going on. Make sure you like kind of like switch it up based on holidays as well, because you'll get way more traction that way. Okay, so planning my month, and then daily what I do. So, oh my gosh, this is always changing, but I'll take you back to when I was full-time teaching. I signed up to be a coach. I'm living with my parents. It was great. So I would wake up in the morning. I'd work out. I would go to work all day long, and then I'd come home and do my Beachbody work. But living with your parents, it was like insanely distracting. So I was like, I can't get any work done. So after a month, I decided to swap that up. I woke up at 5, I did my Beachbody work, go to work, came home, worked out, and like just did family time, because I could be distracted working out, because I was just like, turn it up louder. Mom, I'm working out. But so that's what I did for the longest time. And honestly, that's majority of what I still do now. Even I wake up early. I do work out in the morning now, because with the store, it's a bit more unpredictable. And then I do have a little more freedom at the store. I kind of work both jobs back and forth. But I know Becca's a night owl. I am not at all. I prefer to get it all done in the morning time before distractions occur. But my daily list is give or take the same as well. I'm sure a lot of you guys have the business activity tracker or like some form of tracker, and give or take, like I have that on my desk, like check, like every single day. And that's probably like, people are like, what would be your one tip for people to be successful? And honestly, again, Becca told me this was my trait, because I asked my success partners, we were like, what's our trait? And Becca's like, honestly, you're the most consistent person I know. And that's my secret tip for people, is like, you do not need to be the smartest person or the most talented or have the prettiest graphics or have the rockin' six pack. Like, you do not need any of those things, but you need to get your shit done every single day, right? And then it just compounds, it starts to pay off. And that's honestly 110% why I feel I'm in the spot I'm in. I don't feel I do anything special really or different. I just feel like I'm the person that will do it every single day. And I haven't missed a day of my Beachbody work since I signed up to be a Beachbody coach. And like legit, I can say that, like, cross my heart, hope to die. Like, honestly, I haven't missed a single day. Some days it's like 5 hours, other days it's like 30 minutes, if I'm traveling. But when I go away, like, so me and my mom were going shopping the other day. I'm like, okay, she wants to leave at 9. My gosh, Mom. So I woke up super early, and literally I got done, I think it took me like 30 minutes. I only got done my groups. I didn't actually get to my messages, but I'm like, that's okay. I touched base with like my people and said I'd answer tomorrow. When we went on the cruise the first time with no internet, I had certain coaches cover my groups for me. I let my team know where I was going ahead of time, and I got in some posts when I could. Honestly, you guys, I work in the car all the time on road trips with Steven. He'll drive and I'll get in my power hour. I've worked in the bathrooms at hotels. So the funniest, oh my gosh, this is how determined I am and consistent. So we were away training for our franchise for 5 weeks. And this was like when I was a pretty new coach, right? So 5 weeks, I'm like, okay, Morgs, you got this. Staying in like, oh my gosh, I don't even know what we stayed in. So I would wake up at 5. I would go down to the lobby, and all they had was like this tiny little desk with a computer on it. So I took my laptop, I put it over top of like the old keyboard that was there. I put on my headphones, put on like YouTube motivational music super loud so I couldn't hear anything. And I just like went ham for like one whole hour. And this was all 5 weeks, like went hard for that whole hour until they set out continental breakfast, which was like gross. So I have some food really quick. I go back up to my room. I did PIO, so I strategically picked a program I wouldn't need equipment for. And this was me working out, you guys. So Steven was sleeping in bed. The lights were off. I put my laptop on the toilet in the bed. So you walk into a hotel room, it's got like just that little hallway before the beds and then the bathroom's right there. So I'd be in that little hallway and have my laptop on the toilet, and I would work out like half in that hallway, half in the bathroom. And I'd be doing like beast and kick throughs and hit the wall. And Steven's like, are you okay? Fine, just doing bio. And I didn't have Bluetooth headphones at that point. So it was really quiet. So I'd like have to listen really carefully to what Shalene was saying. And I did that for 5 weeks straight. I probably wasn't in the best physical shape of my life because we didn't eat great, but my team and my business exploded. Because in that 1 hour, all I did was the vital behaviors, like that business activity tracker checklist. And like, when I say go ham, like I typed as fast as my little fingers could, because I'm like, I got 1 hour. So, in this busy, crazy life, like I said, busy people do better at this business. And I 110% believe that as long as you can look ahead and plan your month, and as long as you can have discipline and consistency and give yourself like one hardcore hour every day or more, like whatever you can, like this business is totally, totally doable. It just takes a lot of discipline. And that's one thing like I wasn't willing to give up. I treated Beachbody like a business pretty much off the start. I didn't talk about it like a business to friends or family. I'm like, this is just I have to go do internet work, Grandma. I still call it that sometimes. I'm like, just going to do my internet work. But to myself, 100%, like that hour was non-negotiable. Like it got done. Just like my workouts, like I've always been super passionate about fitness. I've been doing Beachbody programs probably since like grade 8. Like fitness has always been part of my life. So like 1 hour a day for fitness, like it's been that way for 10 years for me. So I guess when I signed up to coach, I sort of treated like my power hour like fitness. Like it was 1 hour of a day that became part of my daily routine every single life. Like my fitness and my business, I think of them the same way, and I treat them the same way. If I get in 3 or 2 workouts out of a week, I can only expect like 2 days of results out of 7, right? Like if I only do 2 days of hammer and chisel out of 6, am I going to get the full results? No. If I only do the business 2 days out of 7 of the week, am I going to get the full results? No. Right? Like I 110% treat fitness, business, exactly the same way. So that's kind of all, but I can open it up for questions, Becca, if you want.
Yeah, absolutely.
Sorry, I talked like super fast. I'm passionate about planning, you guys.
You just get stuff done, even quickly on team calls. I like it. I have to talk quiet because Nate told me that all the guys he plays video games with can hear when I talk, and they complained to him about it. They're like, "What? We don't want to hear your wife talking about Shakeology anymore." So I have to be quiet. So I wanted to share a funny memory I have about Morgan. So I totally remember when Morgan went to training, and that was crazy. But before that, I remember, so Morgan has been a morning person since I've known her, and I've been a night owl since she's known me. And when Morgan was still teaching in the very beginning of her coaching, she would like wake up super early and do all of her work before going to school. And then when she came back, she would like do another check-in, and then that was it, like for the night. And so I would get so frustrated because I would like not wake up until 9, wouldn't really get going till like 10 or 11, would get going with my work a little bit, but then like I would really get going at like 9 or 10 at night and go till like 2. And so I would send Morgan messages at like in the afternoon, and then again at night. And like she would not answer them until the next morning at 5 a.m. And then I wouldn't see them until the next afternoon. So there were days when I would go to send Morgan a message, like, oh, never mind. She's not even gonna see it till tomorrow. Like it's just no point. But it was something that always stuck with me. Like just one of those things like you remember about someone that's like a very defining thing was I was like, Morgan is like clockwork. I know she's not going to look at this until tomorrow morning at 5 a.m. And it was like, it never changed. It was always consistent. And I always thought that was really funny. My other funny memory about Morgan's insane discipline is at the first diamond retreat I ever went to with Lindsay. Morgan was there, and Marina, who's another Canadian coach of Lindsay's, who's pretty successful. And I don't remember what workout had just launched, but the elite coaches had an elite sneak peek of it, and they brought it for us to do, kind of like how at the Diamond Retreat I just hosted, you guys all did Core de Force. And I think it was Insanity Max.
Yeah, I think so.
It was something really hard. And a whole bunch of us started it. Like a whole bunch of people started the workout. We were all in the living room. Like we moved all the furniture. And everybody gave up except Morgan and Marina by the end. Like they were the only two people who actually finished it. And we were all like, oh, these Canadians and their crazy work ethic. Like all the rest of us were like, we're on vacation. But it was so funny because Morgan's like that in her business completely the same way. Like it doesn't matter if it's, vacation. It doesn't matter if it's a day that she's not feeling good or a day when they're stressed out with stuff that's happening with the franchise, like her work still gets done. So that's always been super inspiring to me.
And I think I like how I totally forgot that beginning story about the messages, but I think that you brought up like such a key point because so many coaches think they have to be on their phones or their computers all day long. And they're like, I just can't do this. Like I'm consumed by all this. And I'm like, girlfriend, you're doing it the wrong way. Like, why are you on your phone all day? And that's why I think I work the way I do. If you're disciplined, you don't have to work all day. Like literally, when I was teaching 1 hour in the morning, yes, maybe if I had time, I'd check in the evenings, and that's it. Like I would respond to messages 1 time per day. And I did this for 2 whole years, you guys. Now I respond like a little bit quicker, but usually people only hear from me 1 time per day. So maybe my business moves a little bit slower conversational wise, but that's what works for me and keeps me sane. But I find if you're not disciplined, yeah, you end up working all day long. But what if you okay, so I see it like this. So like an office job where they work 9 to 5, they go to work at 9, they take a coffee break at 10, then they go work a little more, then they take a lunch, then they work a little more, then another coffee break, and then they go home at 5. It's like, oh my gosh, that would drive me crazy. But what if we could just compress all the work time like really close together? And technically, you'd only be working for like a couple hours. Could you imagine if you could just work a couple hours and be like, peace out, see you later, I'm done. Like I got my work done in this same amount of time. That's how I see it. I'm like, I'm just going to go ham for this short amount of time. And then I'm free. And that's how I do like holidays too. Wake up, get it done, free. Like so many people think, well, I just can't do it. Like I can't work all day. I'm on holidays. It's like, yeah, you can just compress it super quick, get it done, free, you're moving on. Like that's how I work this business. This business isn't my life. It lets me live my life is kind of how I see it. I'll read these few questions if you want. Okay, Michelle, new coach starting out, working 50 plus hours a week as a veterinarian. That's awesome. What's your advice on getting people on your team? Do you start out with just Facebook and social media? I don't mean any new people because I'm at work all the time. I try to use Facebook right now to post about what I'm doing, and it's just a slow process. Just keep at it. Awesome. Okay, Michelle, what I would say is you said you're a new coach, so that's kind of a clue for me right away that, yeah, the start is where it's going to take time because you're pumping that well. No water's coming out yet. You're just pumping the well. And that takes a lot of time. Let's just be honest, right? But then once you get that momentum going, it's easier to keep going. So for me, I live in a town of about 4,000 people, and most of them are all elderly. And I had about 90 friends on Facebook because I was a new teacher, and they told me to delete all my friends when you're a new teacher, right? If any teachers on here, because social media is the devil. So that's how I started. So I started off really slow too, but exactly what you said. If you go to somebody's Facebook photos, you go to the latest one, instead of clicking the arrow forward, click it backwards, and you'll go back to their very first post. Like, you'll probably just giggle at mine, but I just started sharing what I was doing, and that's literally it. I started doing my power hour. They said friend request. They said do this, like business activity tracker. I'm just like, they told me to do it. I'm just going to do it. So that's what I did. And I didn't really think any more about it. Like, I didn't think like, I'm not attracting people, I'm moving slow, I'm moving fast. Like, I honestly just didn't think about it. I'm just like, they told me to do it, I'll do it. And they said it would pay off if I just keep doing it. So that's what I did. So I wouldn't stress about, finding people for your team or anything like that. I would just be like, this is my list. I'm going to get it done every day. And I'm just going to keep doing it and have the patience for it to pay off, because you never know. You never know who's going to be your best challenger, or your best coach, or who's even going to want to join you. Like, some of the leaders on my team, I never would have guessed in a million years. And most of the people I meet, 99% of my challengers and coaches, I have met online. Becca, I met online. Everybody's online. So many people think, but my town's so small and I have multiple coaches in my town. I'm like, girlfriend, I don't want people in my town. I don't no. I don't know. I'm introverted. I don't want to run into them at the grocery store. But I'm like, I'd rather have people online from all over the world. You've got all US and Canada, right? Like, don't hold yourself to just your small town, because trust me, I don't meet people either. Thank gosh for our store, like people ordering sandwiches. Like, otherwise I wouldn't talk to anybody. So you're not alone. Stephanie, does that mean you would schedule your posts and then do responses to people in that hour you work? Nope, I never schedule my posts, ever. Sometimes in challenge groups, I've played it with it on and off if I want to just get it out at a regular time. But usually if I wake up at the same time, I can post it at the same time each morning. No, so posts were the only thing that were random for me. I would post whenever I could. So for me, I didn't post during school hours or when we were training because I was busy. I didn't want to put across a false image that I had time to post while school was going on, because how am I supposed to attract other teachers to do this job when they're like, I can't post during the day, I'm too busy. It's like, well, yeah, I am too. So I'm not posting during the day when I'm busy, right? So I'll do things. I did things at lunchtime, like quick lunches while I'm at work. In the morning, you always see a post from me. In the evening, you always did, but you didn't see it during work hours at that time because I was working. Like, I keep it real with people because that's what they want to see, right? So no, I didn't schedule posts at all. They were always just random about my daily life and how I make it work. So I hope that kind of helps.
Does anybody else have any other questions for Morgan? You can write it in the chat if you're too nervous to unmute yourself, or if you don't mind talking, just unmute yourself and you can ask. Anybody else?
I have a question. So you share this calendar with your entire team at the beginning of every month. Is that correct?
Correct.
Do you find that it overwhelms your new coaches? How do you help them organize their whole month when, just the basics are kind of a challenge?
So what I do, it's pinned at the top of my big team page and also my personally sponsored team page. And I always actually make a YouTube video along with it. So I'll just screen share my calendar and I'll walk through it, because I just find looking at it is really hard to understand, but I'll like talk through it like I did with you guys, not that long, like 2 minutes, so that they know from my voice what it means. And new coaches, honestly, like they're going to get overwhelmed no matter what, I think. I don't think a calendar is going to make or break them. I just make sure I reassure them that, like, you know what, like, give yourself some grace. This is Beachbody puberty. Like, relax. We're just in kindergarten. We're not like learning up to grade 12 right now. Let's just, focus on your daily to-do list and getting your challengers. And that's all for now. Like, I mean, it's not going to make or break them. It's hard to shield them from all overwhelm. I just try and make sure I explain right off the bat that, like, this is new and it's okay to feel new, kind of just reassuring them of that.
Wow. That's good. I love the idea of the video though, because, that's what I was thinking is like, even the little abbreviations like SC or whatever.
Yeah.
So I get really overwhelmed by that. And so I think the video is such a good idea.
Yep. So I'll just do like a quick time screen share, whatever, then upload it to YouTube and then attach the link with the calendar.
Awesome.
Yeah. Larissa, how did you train your team while teaching? I am getting my power hour done along with a little extra most days, but was wondering if you schedule team trainings throughout the month and how you focused on your coaches. So right off the start, I ran new coach trainings just like I do challenge groups, 1 per month. Usually started on the 1st of every month, and that timed out with my calendar, right? Because I'm inviting to coaching the second half of the month. If we started new coach training the start of the next month, that timed out perfectly. They could invite to their challenge group that begins the ending of the next month. See how that times out? So like new coach training start of the month, challenge group end of the month. Those new coaches could invite to the challenge group at the end of the month. Ran it just like a challenge group. 1 lesson a day, post it in there, check in, answer questions, very similar to a challenge group. Super simple, easy, straightforward. Very similar to a challenge group. Yeah. Love to know some of your best tips for finding new Facebook friends. Don't think so much about it. Just press friend request. That's pretty much what I do. I'm like, does this chick look cool? Like, I'd like her. Sweet. If she accepts. And then, like, I don't know what it is. So I had a couple of my coaches be like, oh my gosh, like I friend requested 17 friends and only 4 accepted. I'm like, oh my God, you count? Like, what? Like, I don't know. I never thought about it that in depth. I'm like, if they accept, great. If they don't, like, I don't know, no big deal. Like, I would say, like, don't overthink it at all. Like, just click. If they accept, great. If they don't, who cares? That's kind of, that's how I do it.
I'm the same way. That was so funny to me that you said that, because I don't know. Is Melissa on this call? Let me see. I don't know if she's here.
And I was just going to say, right at the beginning of coaching, I watched this video and it was, I forget who it's from. It's from a coach that was like scared shitless of personal inviting. And I'm like, oh my God, that is me. Like, not my thing at all. And she kind of talked about how, okay, if I don't want to do as much, you still got to do it, personal inviting, I need to do everything in my power to attract people to me. So I'm like, okay, I do not want to do a lot of personal inviting. Like, I want to attract people to me. So what do I need to do this? So I started researching and Googling like attraction marketing. So I'm like, okay, this is kind of how I want to run my business. And in order to be effectively attracting people, I need something to attract them to. So that is why I'm extremely focused on adding as much value, content, knowledge, things I'm learning to my page as I possibly can to try and attract people to me. Doing my live videos, sharing the books I'm reading, sharing like anything and everything I possibly can, because that's my goal, to do less personal invites. As lame as that sounds, like that's what I want to do. So that means I have to put in a lot of work and be super consistent and show up every single day on my social media. So that's also what I do to attract new people. And those people usually have to watch me for like months or up to a year before they gain my trust and actually reach out to me too. So that's why that consistency part and showing up every day and not disappearing on them is very important. Any other questions at all? Oh my gosh, my nose is running. Sorry, I talk really fast.
I was about to chime in and answer this because I knew someone would ask it, but Jay asked you what social media you use.
Oh, I didn't see that one. Whoops. What social media do I use? Facebook. Facebook personal page, pretty much majority. I have a like page, but if you follow me, I just post the same stuff on both of them actually. And I have Instagram, but if you also follow me, I post the exact same stuff on Instagram. So I am not a social media guru whatsoever, but I don't know, like, I don't think I have social media figured out at all. I try and just, like, I have a blog, I have a YouTube channel, but for the most part, like, I just love the way Facebook works, and live video is huge for me. I love video because I don't like typing. I get made fun of all the time for my spelling mistakes and all that stuff because I hate reading things over. So I'd rather just do a video. But yeah, mainly Facebook. I've got other things, but Facebook is still kind of my thing. But I try and get content out multiple places, but I usually just use the same content. Yeah, we can be friends, Melanie. Just friend request me. I'll accept you.
Morgan, I was going to say before, it was funny to me that you said you don't track them because I don't either. Melissa is on the call. Melissa, and a couple months ago, I think it was, Melissa, you posted in one of our team pages, like a screenshot of my friends on Facebook and how it was how you were like, last time I checked it was this, and now it's this much higher, it's going up. Like, I need to get to work because Becca's adding all these people. And I was like, okay, because I'm the same way as Morgan. Like, I literally will just friend request people as I see them, like friends of friends, people I think are cute. Like, I think I did like 10 or 15 today, but like, I don't even know. I didn't write them down. And I don't wait to see who like accepts it either. So I have no idea. So when you posted that, I was like, oh, good. I'm glad that I'm doing that well.
And I think that goes back to the attraction side of things too, because if you're a person that doesn't consistently post or do that, then you might have to write down the names and strategically go to their pages and get involved in their life and then personally message them, because otherwise they're not going to see you after they add you. But if you're a person that consistently shows up, as soon as they accept your friend request, they're going to start to see your regular posts and start to build a relationship with you. Live video, they're going to get a notification right when you go live, and they're going to be like, oh, this is the girl I just added. She's kind of sweet. Like, I'll check out her page, right? So it really depends on your coaching style as well.
Yeah, and I've always been really similar to you, Morgan. I wonder if there was like a whole crew of us that all signed at the same time that now do the same thing. But I am an introvert, and I wouldn't talk to people like unless like it was forced upon me just in my normal life. Like, I don't just go up and strike. Like, Nate answered the door for a stranger today, and I was like, what are you doing? And he like talked to her for like 10 minutes, and I was like, stop. It's just not my nature. So I'm the same way. And I had the same exact thought process where I was like, I don't want to have to cold message people. I don't want to have to awkwardly talk to people who weren't already talking to me about this. So what do I do to fix that? And it was the same thing. I have to get people really interested in what I'm doing. So how do I do that? I need to tell a story. I need to share my journey. I need to constantly have something intriguing, like within the first scroll or two of whatever they come upon. I need to add value so that they see me as an authority, as someone that they can ask questions to, all of those things.
And as you say that, I know what's going through all your heads. You're like, oh my gosh, my life is so flipping boring and I have nothing interested to share. Let me tell you, my life is so flipping boring. I'm in a lame ass uniform 90% of the day. I live in a little 700 square foot home in a town in Melville, Saskatchewan, Canada. Like, my life is very boring. But let me tell you this. You know so much more than a lot of people. So you guys, if you follow me, I share about podcasts, I swear to God, like once a day for like the past year. Do you know how many people still do not know how to get podcasts on their phone? Like, this is how much more you know. Like, I did a live video with my phone like this and walked people through how to get podcasts on their phone. My Costco video the other day, I shared my groceries from Costco. Like 50 people were watching live, and it was like the most engagement I've ever had on a video because people were talking about products they bought from Costco, right? My live videos are me walking outside, basically talking about something I learned on a podcast, and people think it's profound, right? Like, I tell people they can freeze spinach and throw it in their smoothies, and they're like, Morgan, this is genius, right? Like it seems simple to us because we're in it. But just remember, like, so many people haven't seen those things. And you can post the same thing this month that you did last month. The live videos I talk about this month, I probably did the same topics last month, right? If I did a video right now about how to get podcasts on my phone, I'd still probably get a ton of people being like, oh, I never knew this. I'm like, girlfriend, I did the video like a week ago, but you know what I mean? So like, don't overthink that stuff either. People don't see everything you post, and people aren't as smart as you. So just remember that.
Key takeaway from Morgan's call: people are not as smart as you.
Oh, just kidding. But no, you always have to learn and grow new things. Learn and grow too, right? Like, that's where I gain all my stuff from too. I just listen to podcasts basically.
Morgan, you could subscribe to Morgan's live videos as personal development because they're all basically her talking about whatever she learned that day in personal development.
Yeah. And that's a tip too. Like, people are like, how do you come up with this stuff, Morgan? I'm like, I don't. Like, I learned about it on a podcast or I read about it, and then I just put my own spin on it and related it to my life and then made a video about it, right?
Absolutely. Yeah. In the chat, they're saying that we met on an RV site on Facebook. So true. You can meet people online all over the place.
Yep.
Bonded over cool RV renovations and traveling. You never know where. Just, like Morgan said, it has to be something you're passionate about. When we bought our RV and I started doing my renovations, I joined a bunch of RV groups. Not because I was trying to grow my business, but because I wanted to talk to people who knew more about RVs than I did. And that's such a natural thing on Facebook to find those communities. Yeah. And I got plugged in with like one that is about families that travel full time. I got plugged in with one that's all about interior design, and they were huge like assets to me. I could be like, hey, how do I stick this onto a wall? How do I do this? And people would have answers. And in the process, I made tons of friends that, because I'm consistent on social media, some of those people did end up asking me about my journey and the business. But, like Morgan said, don't overthink it. Just if you think someone looks nice, or if you think you have shared interests, or you just feel like clicking on their picture, like, it's social media. Like, everybody's used to it.
Yeah.
All right. Does anybody have any last burning questions? Last call, because I want to respect everybody's time.
Yeah, you guys, I need to watch Grey's Anatomy, How to Get Away with Murder, The Blacklist.
You do need to watch The Blacklist.
And I think that's it. I've got 3 shows to watch tonight yet.
I am obsessed with The Blacklist. Obsessed.
I love it.
I love it so much. I love the guy that plays Reddington, the actor. Mm-hmm. I kind of have a weird, like, older man crush on him. I just think he's so cool.
And that's why I got my ish done early, so I can watch my shows tonight.
Gotta watch your stories.
Yeah. Right? Like,
it's true. Gotta enjoy. Is that him? James Spader?
He's amazing.
I love him. I'm obsessed. He's so cool with his hat. He always puts it down. And
that gentleman has swagger and confidence.
Oh, he does. It just goes to show you confidence can tip the scales. He's a middle-aged, slightly overweight actor. Nothing like crazy spectacular, just an average guy.
Right.
But that confidence and swagger, man. And one signature thing, like he's got the hat, you know, that's cool. Jay, he cannot rock a pink wig. I think you have it on him. Morgan, Jay did the funniest post where he was wearing a wig talking about how there's more girls in network marketing. Do you need a girl to be a good network marketer?
So funny.
Yeah, it was really funny. I love that you just have it on hand.
That's hilarious.
All right, guys. Boys are still playing video games. Thank you guys so much for being here. I know everybody is super busy, but I think that these live team calls are really important just because you get to learn so much, but being on them live is even more special because you get the opportunity to interact, to talk, to ask questions, and just, you know, vibe off the energy of being on a live call. So thank you so much, Morgan, for taking your time to talk to our team. I'll see you next week.
Thanks for having me. And if you want to can you send me the recording after too?
I'll put it on YouTube. I'll send you the link.
Super.
All right, guys. Everybody have a wonderful night. Have a wonderful weekend. See you.
Thanks for having me, guys. See you.